Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. This nugget should be arriving for most of you on July the 24th, which is the feast of Saint Charbel Makhlouf, who's over my shoulder here, the great saint of Lebanon, a saint loved all over the world, a special patron of Nazarene, and blessed as I am, my birthday patron. We've chosen this day under his patronage to have our first Nazarene day of prayer for the persecuted. There will be some kind of prayer at all, or most of the 6 shrines we've established so far, but much more importantly, we're encouraging all of you to make this day one of special prayer for all Christians who are suffering around the world for their faith in Christ. There are other days of prayer for the persecuted, it's true, but we want this day to spur daily prayer in particular. The importance of prayer for the persecuted is at the heart of our mission, because without that we might as well just be another charity which helps bodies but not souls. Let's be reminded during this nugget, on this special day, of some of the Lord's teaching on prayer and how that should impact both our daily lives and, if I might call it that, the special prayer apostolate of all of you who support Nazarene in some way. It's obvious, it's well known, it's a fact, but curiously overlooked by those who say they're too busy to pray, or who don't believe in prayer, or who don't know how to pray. Jesus prayed. Indeed, it was in the very act of witnessing the prayer of Jesus that the disciples asked him to teach them and us to pray. I've said it before and will say it again. One Our Father said with devotion, with attention, with full faith and trust is better than 40 minutes of many words. Jesus prayed, and the church prayed and prays. Never forget, in a very important passage for us in this charity, the story in the Acts of the Apostles when St. Peter is imprisoned, and Acts tells us the church prayed constantly, consistently. Peter was freed from the jail by the power of the prayer of the church. Why would we not imagine that the church praying for the persecuted would not bring down grace and blessings? Consistent, persistent prayer, both in our own lives and in this ministry of prayer, is commended to us by Jesus, when, for example, in Luke chapter 11, he tells the story of the man who keeps banging on the door of his friend's house asking for bread. The Lord, telling this story, surely with a smile on his face, says his persistence brought a response. That's an image of persistent prayer. It's precisely our lack of persistence, both personally and collectively, which demonstrates, ultimately, a lack of faith. If we are not persistent, we don't really believe. To use Churchill's words in a very different context, never, never, never give up. Sadly, we don't seem to have the spirit of Lepanto anymore in the Church when Pope St. Pius V pleaded with the worldwide Church to pray the Rosary to defeat the Turkish fleets and to save Europe from the Islamic hordes. And what happened? When the Church prayed, the prayers were answered and Europe was saved for the time being. Our special scriptural motto at Nazarene is the line from St. Paul's letter to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 10. Let us do good to all men, but first to the members of the household of the faith. And the greatest good we can do for the members of the household of the faith is to pray for them. Brethren, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, like a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.